ببرنامج هي بنستضيف امرأة ناجحة لتخبرنا كيف بلشت مشوار النجاح وكيف وصلت. وما في امرأة وصلت أو حققت أهدافها بدون ما تتعب أو بدون جهد وتعب. ومثل ما بتعرفوا بكل امرأة في إبداع وفي موهبة، بس لازم تعرف هالمرة كيف تطلع هالموهبة وكيف تستخدمها. برنامج هي هو دائما دعم وتشجيع لكل النساء، ودائما لندفع شباب المستقبل انه يتمثلوا بهالنساء القويات واللي برهنوا انه هن جديرين، وايضا نحفزهم وايضا نعطي صوره غير سلبيه المرتبطه بالعرب وين ما كان بالعالم. ودائما حلو انه الحلوه الحياه بتحدياتها، والاحلى انه نتغلب عن هالتحديات عن هالتحديات ونتغلب عليها. ويلكم تو هي، مساء الخير للجميع. واليوم سهام عوادة جعفر معنا بالاستوديو. ويلكم سهام. Siham is the president and CEO of 3D Consulting and Communication. She is also the founder and producer of the nationally acclaimed Images and Perception Diversity Conference, recognized in 2013 and 2017 by Court Magazine for the Excellence in Diversity Award. And not only that, she is Wayne County Dispute Resolution Center Board President. Along with her extensive background in media relations, she's currently host and produces the cable network show of The Cuff. And we will be right back with Siham Awada Jaafar.
Michigan's best contemporary is at Telegraph and 12 Mile, and now at Gorman Southfield, save up to 50% off. That's limited time savings of up to 50% off all contemporary at Gorman Southfield, Telegraph and 12 Mile.
The One. We are business consultants who equip leaders to lead at their highest level while building teams that work together and support their team and the leadership. We deliver customized business solutions that fit your company's needs, including business development and customized process solutions. Contact us today. Thank you.
Welcome back, and hello, Siham Awada Jaafar. I am so excited to have you today on my show, on HEYA show.
Thank you, Hanan. I'm excited to be here with you and your wonderful, wonderful show and the things that you have already done with it. Congratulations.
Thank you. And you are one busy lady. You wear so many hats and you have so much on your plate. And you are a board president of the Wayne County Dispute Resolution. And you had an open house this weekend. Tell me about that.
We
for
did.
The new center.
Thank you. We're very excited about our new home. We were in Dearborn still, and we just moved a few blocks down. We're on Mason Street in Garrison in West Dearborn at the atrium, and it's a beautiful facility. So the Wayne Mediation Center, or the Wayne County Dispute Resolution Center, has been around for over 30 years. So our new home is sort of a new beginning. And what's wonderful about that is, since we've moved in, we've created a lot of different programs and brought them into the center as well. I've been involved with the center for about 10 years.
Oh, it's been a while.
Yes.
Okay.
So around 8 of them have been on the board. One of them was as vice president, and now I'm fortunate enough.
So you are a certified mediator?
I am a certified mediator, yes.
Okay.
And I think that's the most fulfilling thing that I have done, and I've done a lot of things that I'm very passionate about. But mediation really is something that makes a huge difference, because you're bringing families together, you're bringing individuals who can't find common ground, and empowering them to find their own solutions, and that's really important, especially in this environment today, because dispute is all around us, you know.
Yes, I know that,
and it's a bit scary.
It is, and I feel like you live your passion through your work. I mean, as a president and CEO of a 3D Consulting in Communications, you facilitate or you specialize in corporate law enforcement and organizations or government diversity training. Tell us about, I mean, what made you get into this to begin with?
Absolutely, and you know, you're right. I have to be passionate about whatever I do to be good at it, I guess, and that has to be very important.
Sure.
You know, with the Wayne County Dispute Resolution Center, it is bringing people together and trying to find the common ground and creating solutions and empowering them to make their own solutions.
Sure.
And again, diversity training is also bringing people together and creating that understanding about communities, about you know, different entities, about different people, about different backgrounds and different cultures.
So they are connected somehow, yes.
Absolutely, there's definitely a connection there.
Yeah, and you know, learning about different cultures, it can help us understand like maybe different perspectives in which, you know, the world that we live in, basically. And tell me more about the diversity part and how you help, you know, organizations.
Sure, absolutely. We do diversity training for different organizations, for law enforcement, different government entities, organizations, community organizations. We actually once did, Burlington Coat Factory asked us to come in because their employees were having some difficulty with the change of demographics and really had an issue in trying to deal with their new clientele. So we had gone in there and we talked, and a lot of the issues were, you know, when people come for the second or third time, they come really close, and you know, that spatial distance is not there. Well, you know, with our community, with the Arab American community, once you get to know someone a little bit, you know, that spatial distance sort of disappears.
Right.
And so once they understood that they felt more comfortable with that person and they felt more of a, you know, a connectivity, it really changed their perspective and changed the way that they dealt with things. So a little bit of knowledge can go a long way in dealing with individuals.
I've realized like a lot of people or a lot of companies don't like prioritize diversity, and this is where you come and help them through the training, right?
Absolutely.
So what is the most maybe difficult element like in implementing the training, like diversity training?
Well, with the diversity training we do, we customize every single training for the audience that we're going to be participating with. And I really call it participating and a conversation, because it's not something that we lecture about at all.
You don't lecture about?
Absolutely not. It's a conversation, and it's really giving them an opportunity to understand their point of view and their perspective, and sometimes it's very subliminal. They don't understand that they're feeling this way. So those aha moments, or that light bulb that comes on, absolutely, that comes on while they're having this conversation is really important. So it's a lot about self-realization and talking about how your reaction and your perceived reaction to what's going on around you sort of molds who you are and the way that you deal with others. And so it's a huge self-realization. So it's not just talking about culture or talking about other individuals. It's talking about their particular sense of their reality and their perception of what is around them.
So what do you think the most important steps to build an environment that's more inclusive and more diverse, especially for underrepresented groups?
And it's about educating yourself. It's about knowledge. Knowledge is power, and when you understand where others are coming from, or when you understand the backgrounds of other individuals and why they react the way they do, that creates such a powerful connectivity. So rather than those misunderstandings or those perceptions being in a negative light, creating that education, creating that understanding, creating that common ground makes a huge difference. And when you talk about the underserved, I think those are, it's sort of across the board. I mean, so many individuals fit that bill. So it's trying to accept individuals, their place in society, and not being not trying to condemn people for who they are, or what they are, what position they're in.
Yeah.
It's about that acceptance and about understanding and about lifting people. It's about lifting people up in that conversation. And it's not about economics, it's about a sense of emotional support. That makes a huge difference, and that conversation needs to happen.
Yeah. I think diversity is so important, like for teamwork. I mean, you bring new ideas to the table, it gets more, it's more success to everyone, but people should understand and prioritize that as well. What is the biggest advice in getting, to start a diversity or inclusion?
To start the conversation, you mean?
Maybe, yeah.
Well, it's important to, again, the educational factor, and it's really important to look within yourself.
Yeah.
To find out what your ideas are and whether they're aligned, with the environment around you. And you said a very, very, very distinct word. It gives you more success.
Yes.
And a lot of individuals, a lot of companies have started to realize that in embracing the differences and embracing individuals from different entities with different thought processes and bringing them to the table does create more success and does create more avenues that maybe individuals who are like-minded would not have explored without those entities at the table.
So it takes a lot of awareness. We need a lot of awareness and understanding, I guess. What are the strategies that you have used in the past, to help women to maybe achieve a prominent role in their organizations?
I think people who do have a passion and people who want to move forward have an innate characteristic to make them move forward and do it. And I really think it's about support, it's about encouragement, and it's about being there, to give that guidance if it's asked for. And I think there's a saying that says, "Lift as you climb." And that's really important, because you want to be able to, whatever it is that you have, whatever special ability that you have, or whatever makes you move forward, you want to share that with others, especially with our sisters.
Especially with women, definitely.
And women are making a huge splash. Hanan, you know that. Within government, within our community itself, and the individuals that you've highlighted on the show. And I know that you have a list.
I have a list. I have a long list of women.
And that's a source of pride that you have that list, because it shows that we are there for each other. We are helping one another, and we are moving forward.
And we need to empower each other.
And we are empowering each other, and that is so important. Again, lift as you climb, because that's the right thing to do. And when my generation sort of takes a back seat, you want those individuals that are coming forth to be empowered, to have the talent, to have the tools, to grow and prosper and be successful. And that's so important.
And I think since you brought this up, mentoring is so important. I think, we've all been there, we all love to have, and you had mentors.
Absolutely.
And I did as well, and I always love to be mentored. Always. So it is important to have who was your mentor growing up?
Honestly, I'd have to say it was my mom.
Okay.
She always instilled education, always instilled the sense of independence, and always taught me that I had to be fulfilled and be happy with myself before I could move anywhere else, and be sort of independent before I can
That's
move
the best
forward.
advice.
And it was good advice, absolutely. And you know, I have to say, I mean, I met my husband at a very young age, and
How old were you?
well, we met when I was 17.
Okay,
and
you're
I
a
think he was
teenager.
19, but we were friends. It was very platonic. We were
Nothing else,
best
just friends.
for a long time. But I have to say, through that friendship, you know, there was a lot of guidance there, and so I grew and sort of, you know, understood the world, you know.
So he mentored you somehow.
He did, absolutely.
And he was only 2 years older than you.
He was only 2 years older than me.
Okay.
But I think that, you know, that experience and having him as a dear, dear friend, and you know, talking to him about everything, and you know, we had that relationship.
Yeah.
And we've been together we just celebrated our 31st anniversary.
Congratulations.
And it has been the most wonderful 31 years
and you
of
were
my
a wonderful
life.
couple.
Thank you. And let me tell you, anyone who can do anything and move forward cannot do it without a support system.
Yeah.
And without that support system and without that guidance, nothing really happens.
I believe so, and I agree. Yeah.
It takes a village, right? It takes a village.
It does. We're going to go back to 3D consulting and communications. Part of it is public relation, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me about that.
Well, my focus is really diversity training, and through that and via the diversity training, of course, is public relations, because when you're talking about different individuals, when you're talking about creating relationships, you know, it is public relations.
Yeah.
But right now I do the diversity training more so.
So you focus on that more.
And I focus on that, you know, more so exclusively, because that is, and I find every year I say, you know what, we need it even more than we did the year before. And I want to get to the point where I say, you know, this is great. I think we're at where we need to be.
I think you're doing an excellent job.
Thank
if you want to
you.
do more, that's even better.
Thank you. But I see the need is more, especially in our current environment. The license to hate has really been handed out a little bit more freely.
Well, we have a difficult time
than it has been in any time in my life. And you know, I think the concept of people being you know, prejudiced or stereotyping or what have you has always been around. But I think there has been a limit and a boundary to those thoughts and processes. But I think right now there has been so much of a license to say, okay, act upon those senses and those feelings. So that sense of restraining yourself is a little bit lost lately because of the narrative that we.
And I think the more we spread the awareness about diversity, about inclusion, in mediation and all that, I mean, that should help. You know, it's about getting along and accepting people for who they are. And being non-judgmental is really important, and I think that's a human aspect that just makes sense. And so and we have to be open-minded.
And
we have to be open-minded.
Open-minded, and you know what? Live and let live. You know, as long as
love everyone.
Well, you know, people are who they are, and we can't dictate, you know, what the platform is going to look like. So we have to, you know, accept people for who they are, and you have a prerogative of being part of their landscape or not, but allow them to live their life. Whether you agree or disagree is your personal opinion, and that's fine. You don't have to agree; it's fine. But just
we don't all have to agree at all.
But don't act on it aggressively or negatively.
Sure. So before we take a break, I'd like to mention that if you like to know more about diversity and inclusion and mediation, Siham will volunteer some of her time to mentor one of our female viewers. So if you're interested, email us, heyamentor@gmail.com. And I have to make an announcement as well. We have something going on this coming Saturday, December 14. The Empower Me Project is hosting its first Women Resource Fair and Legal Clinic in collaboration with Access this coming Saturday, December 14, from 10 to 1 at the Arab American National Museum. So the event is free and open to the public, but geared toward women. So check it out. We'll be right back with Siham.
Michigan's best contemporary is at Telegraph and 12 Mile, and now at Gorman Southfield, save up to 50% off. That's limited time savings of up to 50% off all contemporary at Gorman Southfield, Telegraph and 12 Mile.
The One. We are business consultants who equip leaders to lead at their highest level while building teams that work together and support their team and the leadership. We deliver customized business solutions that fit your company's needs, including business development and customized process solutions. Contact us today. Thank you.
Welcome back with Siham Awada Jaafar. We're going to talk about, you're the founder and and producer of the Images and Perception, the Diversity Conference.
Yes.
Okay, and you host a huge conference every year, and I know you work so hard on it.
Yes.
And tell me, how do you prepare for such a big conference like that?
Very careful.
And you want to do everything yourself. I know that.
Yeah, it is a lot of work, but the outcome is even more than I can ever imagine, and so that's what fuels my fire. The work involved is tremendous. And it's called Images and Perceptions Diversity Conference. We'll be on our 17th year this year, in 2020. So it's going to take place April 30th at the Ford Community and Performing Arts Center once again. And in producing the conference, what we try to do is try to bring people who are well noted and who have had certain challenges. Like the Hispanic community. Edward James Olmsted was one of our keynotes one year, and he talked about the challenges that the Hispanic community had in general, but he also talked about his own personal challenges in Hollywood, and the acceptance and the issues that he had to deal with, as a person of color and different culture in Hollywood.
So he talked about his experience.
Absolutely, and that's what really brings it home. I think people can really relate to individuals who have made it, who are in the spotlight, yet had those challenges and had a lot of adversity, yet were able to overcome their issues.
So it is so important. I mean, this conference is so essential, and you bring a lot of distinguished panelists in that conference. So if you can tell us a little bit about some of those panelists, the interesting panelists.
Sure. Last April, we had a panel of 5 different mayors from 5 different communities. We had a media panel discussing diversity in media and really the concept of how different stories are covered. We had Chuck Stokes and Carolyn Clifford was our mediator, with Richard Hamburg from Channel 56. And we had Brian Cudham, who is the CNN analyst, and also
I got a picture with him.
Playboy reporter, but he writes the articles. He's the one who writes the articles, and his perspective was extremely interesting. And we had a gal who Joyce Dixon, who was human trafficked herself, and again overcame that entire adversity, and now is a psychologist and is helping individuals. So diversity is just not about culture itself. It's the diversity of the mind, diversity of thought,
I like what you said, diversity of the mind.
Yes. And so we do talk about human trafficking. We talk about media, because what you're exposed to and the stories that you hear and the different perspectives that you hear really shape your perspective in the way that you think about things. So it could be totally different.
Yeah, and the effect of the media is so powerful.
Correct.
Nowadays.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that is important. It's an important conversation to have. And that panel was diverse within itself because we wanted the different perspectives of the different diverse communities. But, you know, speaking about media. So, and this year, I'm really happy that we will have an individual who's from Chicago, and she's an Arab American woman, Muslim, but she has her own one woman show on Broadway in Chicago, and it's called Unveiled. And what she does is she talks about women who are in different areas and different states, and what they are exposed to and the challenges they have, you know, living in these different environments. But she's going to portray that as a show, as a performance.
So she's going to be
on. She's going to be joining us during the conference. And so we have a couple other individuals that we've invited, and I can't say their names yet because they haven't confirmed yet, but hopefully very soon.
They're big names, obviously.
A couple of them. So hopefully, we'll be able to do that. And we are going to have a panel about women who have attained that height and the empowering of themselves, and talk about how they achieved those goals. So that's going to be a phenomenal panel, and names that that are household names will be at the conference.
I can't wait for that.
Well, you're right in front of that team, Hanan. You're doing a fabulous job.
Yeah, but we're looking forward for this conference.
Thank
Did you envision this conference to be that big? I mean, throughout the years, how it evolved throughout the years.
Our first conference had 84 people.
Okay.
And the conference sort of came out of something very, very horrific, which was the 9/11 attacks. And so many individuals did not know what was going on. There were so many things flying, so many rumors, so many misconceptions.
So it wasn't like a great time.
No, it wasn't. And we wanted a place where it was a safe space where people can actually sit down and talk and ask any kind of question they wanted, and have individuals there that were able to answer those questions. And so it was an amazing experience with people who were forthright, very honest with their feelings and emotions, and the dialogue was phenomenal. And so after that, we felt that it was something that we wanted to continue. So
you felt it was necessary.
It was very necessary, absolutely. And of course, Hassan, my husband, was very supportive in producing that too, and very, very helpful. In the very first few years, I mean, it was really challenging.
Does he help you prepare for the conference?
Yes, he does.
Behind the scenes?
He does, in front of and behind the scenes. But he's very instrumental in the idea portion and in implementing. But through the years, it sort of grew, and we found that people were more alike than they were different, and so that's why we wanted to engage the Arab American, African, Hispanic, disabilities communities, the Jewish community, the LGBTQ community, because all those individuals faced so many different challenges. But the key here was a lot of them were the same challenges, and the same communities had the same issues, and so why not bring everyone together to talk about those issues? And they say there's strength in numbers. So in creating that conversation, a lot of solutions were created as well, and so through the years, that's what has happened. So from '84, we have about 550 people that attend. So it has grown, and the conversation has grown as well. And I think the biggest takeaway for me is the remarks that are given afterwards, because a lot of individuals say, I will do things differently. I really understand this now. My perspective the misconception that I was carrying with me, has been taken away, or I will deal with my students in a different way because now I know why they're reacting the way they are.
So it's making a big impact.
It is. It is.
And this is rewarding.
And every year I say, maybe this is the last year. And then every year I say, no, we need it again this year, more so than we did last year.
Do you feel like more challenged, like, like in the future, you feel like you want to do more and more of that now, since you feel like it is necessary to have these kind of conferences, Do you feel more challenged?
I feel that I am up to the challenge, and I want the challenge, and I want to make sure, the biggest challenge that I face is I want to make sure that the concept and the communication and the conversation is relevant and pertinent to the time that we're dealing with now. And so that is extremely important. The content is important, and that's the most challenging thing, is to make sure that whoever sits in that chair and is part of this conference is going to have a huge takeaway once they leave. And the challenge is to ensure that the impact of the experience and the impact of being exposed to these different experiences in these individuals and be part of that conversation is paramount.
Yes.
So that is the challenge. Every single person sitting in that seat has to leave and say, yes, this was worth my time, and it has impacted my life in a way that I will change things once I leave here.
So that's a big motivation.
Yes.
For you.
It is. It is. It is.
So, Siham, you were born and raised and live in Michigan.
Yes, my entire life.
Your entire life is here with your husband and your family.
Yes, absolutely. I have a daughter, Gina and Alex, and they have been our life, and they talk about challenging. They're wonderful, but definitely challenging. And they are the most important thing in my life. My husband, my kids, mom, and my mom is still with us. God rest, God bless her.
God bless her.
And my dad as well, stepdad, but an amazing individual.
Okay.
So they're both in their 90s.
Oh,
God bless them.
God bless them.
And they keep us quite busy.
Yes.
And it's about family. It's about cohesiveness, and it's about that support system. That
always
that
the support system is so
extremely
important.
and
Yeah.
You know that.
The
Sure.
love and affection and everything.
Yeah. And I love Michigan. I don't like its weather at all. The cold just gets to me.
So it didn't grow on you?
No.
Not?
No.
No.
I've
It will
lived
never
here my
be.
entire life, and I'm still not used to it. So I don't like the cold at all. It's beautiful if we can keep the sun around for a little longer.
Well, it's nice to take a break, go on vacation, see the sun for a little bit, and then come back.
Yeah, it's hard to come back when you see the sun and you're coming back to
You need another vacation when you come back. Yeah, you're an activist. I see you in every event. I attend a lot of it, but I see you in every event. And you praise everyone. And I see your social media, like Siham Awada Jaafar, is like praising everyone. You love your community so much.
Okay.
Tell me more.
I love the fact that our community is moving forward, and I love the fact that the women in our community are really, really shining. The men are great, but I think the women are shining.
They're shining more, right?
They're shining more, and the opportunities are there, and they're taking the opportunities, and our girls are really going out there. They're getting their education, and they're making a difference. And a lot of our girls and women are balancing both, family and work, and they're exceeding, and they're being very, very successful.
Yeah.
And how can you not embrace that and encourage that and empower that? And because their success is really our success, and their sense of accomplishments become our pride.
Yes.
And so that's something that should be encouraged and supported and just empowered in every single way that we possibly can, and not just through words, but through the mentorship.
Yes.
Through help. We all need help. We all need mentorship. We all need that assistance to move forward.
Everybody needs that.
And we need to support each other, as a community, and as the greater community as well. And so that's it definitely is a source of pride. I mean, I know that we have Fadwa Hamoud, who
the Solicitor General, first Muslim.
How can you not just be beaming with something like that?
We are very proud.
And these individuals, even Mona Mackey, she has just done some amazing work, through the challenges that she's had. And so, I can just sit here and keep naming individuals who are not just being successful, but being extraordinarily impactful within our community. And that's so important.
I feel we have a competition in education, which is great. Seriously, between everyone, all the kids now, they compete in education, and this is an amazing
to do better.
To do better, and it's great to compete in education. It's so great. Yeah.
And I think that's very healthy.
Yes,
it's very healthy, and to continue. That concept of learning more and of education, and really that's the key. The key to a successful, happy life is through education, because through education you not only create that awareness of your environment, but you also create the tools to deal with your everyday life, because you become a little bit more aware and more accepting of different things, and more patient.
Yes, and no one can take that away from you.
No one can take it away
from you. No one can take, yes. And what can you tell me about our city that has a large Arab, community?
You know what? The Arab American community has really thrived within Dearborn and Dearborn Heights, economically speaking, socially speaking. They've brought some amazing experiences, to the city. It has just grown, and we have our challenges. Definitely have our challenges, but we've been a positive impact, on the cities, especially economically. And I love the fact that the vibrancy of these communities has really been exceptional because of the Arab American community and the entrepreneurial minds, that come in. The businesses that have come out of our community is essential. I remember years back where Warren Avenue was quiet, a lack of the hustle and bustle, no businesses. The economic vitality of Dearborn was on a decrease. So that has really, really been, a wonderful thing. So we do live in a vibrant city, and it is diverse in its own way. And we have what we need, and you don't have to really travel too far to be entertained.
We do have everything.
Our restaurants are vast, and we don't have a problem with providing food at all within our community. Educational services are here.
Everything is here.
So everything is here, and through those entrepreneurial spirits, everything is being provided. And it's sort of a domino effect.
And it's going to get better and better.
And it's going to get better and better. Correct.
For sure.
And you're also contributing, to this wonderful motif, and what you've done, and your new show, and just bringing awareness, and talking about these things is important.
I'm trying my best, and I will try my best.
You're doing a fabulous job on that.
Thank you, thank you. What inspires you on a daily basis?
What inspires me?
Beside your husband.
Okay. What inspires me on a daily basis is just to do better, and to be better than I was yesterday, and to continue to be on a positive note. And sometimes that's hard. It's hard because we're exposed to different things, and I see the challenges that we have, and I see sometimes within our community itself the differences of opinion, and the differences of what we feel is important. And so my inspiration is to try to understand where others are coming from and be in a place where I can be okay, you know, with it. And I think I would hope that we as a community can get to a place where we can agree to disagree.
Yes. Yeah.
And
that fits your profession. I mean, this is what
you're probably right.
You didn't go far from that.
And so I think we just have to aspire to be better than we were last week or yesterday, and just keep moving forward, and not let the things that can bring us down stop us from pursuing the positive and seeing the positive in what's around us.
Yes. What can you tell women who are watching us and they say, we can't do it, we can't do anything? What can you say?
To reach out and to know that they can, and to know that there are tools out there. There's organizations, there's people out there that can and will help them, but they need to reach out. And there's nothing you can't do if you don't, when you put your mind to it, regardless of the level of aspiration. It can be done. You just have to make it happen for yourself.
That's great. Siham, it's been a pleasure having you here. This is my second interview with you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. You're kind and nice, and you're an amazing and inspirational lady. Thank you for being here again.
Thank you, Hanan, for having me, and I will say the same words for you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to know you, and to get to know you even more, and to know that beautiful person inside and out. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that always. And thank you. متشكر كل مشاهدينا. That's it for tonight. Thank you.